What's happening? ¿Cómo estás? How are you guys? I am happy to be on Facebook Live with you. I'm still learning how to use it. What's up, Chris Webb? Oh man, I'm glad to be on live with you. I don't know what time it is. I didn't reset my watch since I got to Mexico. It's probably 8 o'clock maybe. I snuck into a boardroom. Of this event venue. We met with a family today that apparently does very well here in Mexico. They own several companies. They own a construction company, they own a manufacturing company, they own a wellness company, they own a food delivery company. It's crazy. You never know who you're going to meet. 8:47. Cool. You never know who you're going to meet. So I get invited to come to Querétaro, which is where I am. It's a few hours north of Mexico City if you drive it. It's an hour flight from Monterrey, which is where I was this morning. I had woke up in Monterrey, zipped to Querétaro. I'm here for 18 hours. I leave at 9 in the morning tomorrow to go to Mexico. I'm in Mexico City for 5 hours. I'm in there for 5 hours, 3 hours worth of meetings, and then fly back to Tijuana, then drive home. I'll get home about 1 or 2 in the morning, and then Thanksgiving is Thursday. So it should be fun. But here's the thing that's wild. You never know. Here's the life of a prover. You don't know where you're going, what you're going to see. You don't know what they're going to ask. You don't know what they want to know. It's pretty crazy. I'm going to walk you in the other room in this event, and then I will come back in here and tell you what I was talking about transformation and about your past not equaling your future. I'm going to talk to you about what that means in my life. Robert Downy Jr. was the example of the post I put up today and what it means for you. So hang on. Gotta be quiet.
Wow. ¿Cómo, Juan Carlos? O sea, me lo voy a tomar, me estás diciendo que algo parecido a esto me va a pasar, y me estás diciendo que si no me gusta, me regresan mi dinero tal cual como lo escucharon, garantía de satisfacción. Es una verdadera locura.
Okay. Hopefully the signal still works. Okay, as you come on, comment the city that you're watching this from. Where are you in the world? And then also, let me know if you saw the Facebook post that I put up earlier that we're going to talk about. It was about Robert Downy Jr. I think it was 20 years ago. He was in jail, got arrested, drugs, alcohol. Like, the guy was a complete disaster. And then, I mean, several years later, he gets back focused again. He gets his life turned around. And I don't know the guy's whole story. I saw a post today that made me, it triggered something in me. It resonated with me. That Tony Robbins talks about, most of us are living in story. Mitch Newman talks about, most of us are living in story. We're living in the past. We're living in what happened to you 25 years ago. You got divorced 5 years ago, but that's all you talk about. Hashtag divorced. That's all people talk about. Hashtag my dad died 3 years ago. I still haven't gotten over it yet. And from the grave, he's still controlling me. Or when I was a little girl, my mom was a total bitch to me. And 20 years later as an adult, they still sort of have their thumb over you. And we get in story. It's wild. For most of my adult life, I've not been a thin dude or an in-shape dude. So I go into story. Oh, I'm not a fitness guy. I'm not a gym guy. I don't like, athletics or fitness or, whatever. I like dessert. It's a story. It's comfortable. It's what I'm used to. It's what I've hardwired into me. Robert Downy Jr., again, that post I was talking about, and if you haven't seen it, go look at my newsfeed. It just had a picture of him strung out in jail next to a picture of him in front of the Tony Stark sign being Ironman. I mean, the guy's on top of the world. And, sometimes we think we have to be perfect for people to want to be a part of what you're doing, or to be your friend, or to love you, or to follow you, or to participate with you. And the truth is, wisdom is created during the suck. Wisdom is created during when it's hard. And if people can just, when I say people, I mean you. When I say you, hey, Red Smith, thanks for the share. If you guys are digging this, share it if you can. I'm not very good at telling people what to do on Facebook Live. If you're digging this, share it real quick. And I'm going to stay on as long as I can until they call me into the room to go talk. But Juan Carlos is speaking Spanish. I can't understand a word he's saying anyways. I just hope it's compliant. But what ends up happening is we get in the story, we live in our past, and we say we want to move forward, but most of our thoughts inside of our own brain are talking about going backwards. And, just on the drive, the flight over here, the drive over here, there's just so many things that are popping through, in my life talking about this particular subject. It's crazy. And, I had a buddy, him and I were going back and forth. He's like, gosh, I can never do what you do. And I was like, what do you think that I do? I just share ketones with people. They drink samples. They like them. They check out a couple of videos on the website. Hey, what's up, Robert? Hey, David. They check out a couple of videos on the website. They get a basic education of what it is. They become a customer. They drink it. They like it. They share it with a few people if they like people. They make, free ketones is the first reward that we compensate people with. And if they share it with other people and they share it with other people, then you can get compensated financially for that. It's not that complicated. It's a pretty simple subject. Most people, don't feel good. So I said, what do you mean you couldn't do what I do? And the truth is he's stuck in story. He's stuck in who he's been most of his life. Well, I could never sell. I said, I don't sell. I tell stories. Sure, I might be a decent storyteller, but I've worked on it. My first job interview when I got to San Diego was for Kone, K-E. It's an elevator company. My friend Dusty Dunaway messaged me, or we were going back and forth, and I was like, dude, I got to find a gig. I got to find a job. I was working in restaurants. I was valet parking cars with a college degree. He goes, I'll get you an interview. It's for sales. I bombed the interview. It was wretched, terrible. He told me to sell me a pen. I was, that old cliche interview thing. I bombed it. Like, he called Dusty and he goes, dude, that guy's terrible. Like, I bombed it. And, the first several things I tried, I wasn't any good at. So when the guy said I couldn't do what you do, I was like, I don't know what that means. I've tried to get out of story and not let my past define my future. So, I grew up a child of divorce. Many of you probably can relate to that. It grew me. It wasn't a dig on me or a drag on me. It's why I am how I am today. I can persevere. I'm pretty independent. I'm pretty down with anything, go with the flow. I'm very tight with my brothers because of that. I'm used to being okay, being wherever. Doesn't matter where I'm at, I'm fine. And I can figure it out. It also gave me the ability to meet a lot of people. It gave me a lot of ability to adapt to different situations. And it's been a benefit to me as a guy who went through a divorce a couple of years ago. I never even talk about it online. It's given me a ton of strength. It's been super hard. Divorce court's not fun. It sucks, especially when kids are at stake and a lot of finances are at stake. But I can tell you it's made me stronger. It's given me a better relationship with my kids. It's given me a better relationship with myself. And a lot of times we think people that are successful don't go through shit. They do. That's why they're successful. The acquisition of success, or whatever that means, that doesn't necessarily mean business related or financial related or anything like that. If you have a great relationship or a great marriage, it's because you've been through a lot together. You've been through the valleys, the peaks, all of it. And it's wisdom creating, so to speak. It's character developed. I asked a guy the other day, did you learn more making $1 million or did you learn more losing $1 million? And he says, it's funny. It took me a long time to make the $1 million. It took me about 6 months to lose it. And I said, wow, dude, that's crazy. What do you mean? And he goes, I would say I learned a lot with both. He goes, but now the next $1 million I earn, I know not only what to do with it, I know what not to do with it. And he goes, I know how to spend my time. I know where to invest it. I know where to put it. I know what people to have around me. And he goes, I'm glad I didn't make 10 million on his first business. He goes, I'm glad I only made $1 million because I was destined to lose it no matter what, because of the decisions he was making, the people he was hanging with, and his mindset. He didn't have a health mindset. And he goes, now the wisdom of losing $1 million gives me the foundation to go make 100 million. And I'm like, holy smokes. So think about that for a moment. Like, when most of us get in story, whatever that looks like, I'm fat, I'm old, I'm tired, I'm from a middle of nowhere town, I'm from a small town. most of the excuses that we have are really reasons. Since I don't have all the more reason you should do a business. Think about that. I mean, the number one objection I get is I can't afford it. And my first answer back is to say, well, this isn't a cost you money thing. This is a make you money thing. This is a save you money thing and a make you money thing. And I'm not meaning for this whole Zoom to be about prove it or ketones or anything like that. It's just an experience and a story people are in. Most people are used to saying they can't afford everything. They can't afford nothing. They do a little pivot and from a different directive. Hey, Deborah, what's up? How's Australia? If they looked at that challenge, so to speak, or that tough, and they said, you know, what can I learn from this? What's an experience I can take from this? I've made all kinds of decisions. That didn't make sense today. At the time, they made sense. Today, I'm like, gosh, that was a bad decision. And, you know, I've made other ones at the time didn't make sense. Makes sense today. And, you know, part of it is just trusting your gut, not spending time in the past, focusing on your future, focusing on today and your future, and realizing that the shit that's happened to you is really happened for you because it's what gives you wisdom to grow. I want you to think about this. What's your favorite movie? I just watched on the airplane from Monterey to here. I didn't finish it because it was a short flight. I just watched Remember the Titans. If you've ever seen the movie Remember the Titans, the movie's great because they go through a bunch of garbage to get to be successful. It wasn't the beginning of the movie, everybody's great, the middle of the movie, everybody's great, at the end of the movie, everybody's double great. Nobody watches that movie. It's called The Hero's Journey, and I'm not going to get into it too much, but like people follow, you know, sort of zero to hero stories. People are attracted to who's successful today in whatever the topic is. Whatever the topic is. It could be climbing. It could be women's health. It could be music. There's a rapper chick, I don't even know her name. I can think of the lyrics in my head, but I'm not going to sing them. She literally has been at the game, like on the streets, singing and rapping and just performing her music for 10 years. Made no money. Sleeping in her car, giving away CDs. You know, she would perform at shows for dinner and drinks. And all of a sudden, her song hit. Now she's an overnight success, a 10-year overnight success. She can appreciate where she's at today because of what she had to do to get there. So often people are in the thick of it and they think it's not working, when in reality, they're right where they need to be. If they're uncomfortable, they're right where they need to be. If you right now are uncomfortable, you're right where you need to be. What you can't do is quit. What you can't do is throw in the towel. You're right where you need to be. Said another way, it's all unfolding perfectly. I would just challenge you to look at someone else that sort of already has the dream that you've had or have. They already have it. Go ask them, what'd you do to get there? What'd you overcome to get there? You might be blown away. If you want a successful marriage, ask your parents what they did to stay together for 40 years. If parents aren't together, ask your grandparents. I ask people on airplanes that are a couple, how long have you been together? And what's the secret? The men usually says, listen to what she says. And somebody told me on a plane the other day, the secret is to find out what you each have a gift at and support and honor that gift of your spouse and sort of stay out of their way in that area. And you can support one another. You can be the yin and yang of one another, both in the relationship, they might be doing together in life. And the main thing that when I saw that Tony Stark picture, there's a picture, it's of a young Jay-Z, and it says, there's hope for you, this guy marries Beyonce. And there's literally a picture of Jay-Z, he looks absurd, he looks like a complete moron. He's just young, he's a kid. And it says, there's hope for you still, this guy ends up going on to marry Beyonce. Now, I don't care if you like Jay-Z or Beyonce, that's not the point. So the point is real simple. I'm sitting in a boardroom, there's 150 people, what looks like, in another room on the other side of the building. They're speaking a language that I don't speak. I do my best to try to fit in. I match, either I have red Nikes or green Nikes to match the Mexican flag. And I'm wearing my Ketones hat and my Satonas or ketone shirt, my Cetonas hat. I try to learn the language the best that I can. I show up having no idea what to expect. We were driving down the road, lost. Our driver, the family we are here as guests of, have a driver, and he's been driving us all over town, took us to lunch. We had some of the best steaks ever. So he's driving us to the venue, and I'm like, where is this place? And then we see like a, not a bicycle, but like a motorcycle sort of truck. I don't even know how to explain it. It looked like a little three-wheeler with a billboard on the back of it, and it says, "Prove It event this way." And I'm like, is this where our meeting is? And sure enough, we pull down here. We pull in, and there's cars everywhere, people everywhere. They're driving in from all over Mexico, busing in. We have 4 or 5 people here that took a 10-hour bus ride. They left this morning to get here. It's crazy. And I only tell you that because I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, I'm completely out in faith. I'm completely here on my gut that says I have some sort of value to provide to these people, but I have no idea who they are, what they want, or why they're here. I'm gonna go find out because I can't understand what the speakers are saying. But there's a consistent theme everywhere we go. People want to be better. People want to live better. People want better energy, better health, better vitality. They want a better lifestyle. So I don't know what it is that you do. If you're not a part of Prove It, you should be. Even if you just want to drink the product, refer it to friends, help them, and get some free ones. Actually, comment below if you drink ketones daily and what your best benefit is. Keep it clean, no medical claims, whatever that is. So, and if you're not, they're clapping in there, so I'm probably next. If you're not, hit me direct and let's get you some, or whoever showed you this video, let's get you some. But go learn about Robert Downy Jr.'s story. It's crazy. Whether you like him or don't like him, he went literally from the bottom of the dumps to the top, the top of the charts as an actor. And when most people would have thought they were down and out, most people just give up. They throw in the towel. And I'm just here to tell you, as a person who's had some challenges in my life, many of which I talked about earlier, those are reasons to grow. You have a gas pedal and you have a brake pedal. And whatever the thing is that's holding you back, whatever you assign it, if you assign it a reason, then you'll win. If you assign it an excuse, you won't. I can't do this because of kids. Okay, that's an excuse. I can do this, I should do this, and I have to do this because of my kids. Now that's a reason. I can't do this because I'm old. Well, that's a reason. It should be a reason. It's an excuse. Are you financially independent? You can retire anytime you want, travel the world with your family, or do whatever you want to do? Well, no. Okay, well, the fact that you're old ought to be a hell of a reason, not an excuse. Excuses are like belly buttons. We've all got them and they stink. That's the PC version. But what are the reasons? I understand you got 10 excuses. What are a couple of reasons? Just one, just pick one. One decent reason can get you going. So I'm super pumped. I got to sneak off of here. I'm going to jump in the other room. Let's see if we can have some more fun here in Querétaro. We'll be in Mexico City tomorrow. If you like some of the content that tonight, share it. Share it. And any other ideas, share them with me, and we'll do some more lives on them and stuff. So thanks, you guys. I appreciate you jumping on. See you.